In this video, we're going to make the connection between graphs and function values. And one of the important things to remember about a graph, like this one, is that it has an x-axis and a y-axis, and so points on the graph generally have an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. And in this example, there is no equation, but we don't need one to make the connection between the graph and the function. So the first thing that we're asked to find is to find f of 0. And what we want to understand here is that of the two coordinates, x and y, one will be given and one is what you're expected to find. And when we connect this to the functions, we will assign y equal to f of x. And so when we compare what we're given with this function expression, we can see that inside the parentheses we've got a 0, which we can equate to the x. And so that tells us that x is equal to 0, so the x coordinate is the one that's given, and the one that we need to find is the y coordinate. And in order to find it, what we want to do is go back to the graph now. So when x is equal to 0, we are actually on the y-axis, no units to the right, none to the left, but we will find the graph, and the place where x is equal to 0, where we hit the graph, is at this peak here. That peak has a y value. You can see we're 2 units up, and so the y value is equal to 2. And so what that tells us then is that the function value when x is equal to 0, or f of 0, is equal to positive 2. Next, what we want to do is find the values of x where f of x is equal to negative 1. So again, this time we're explicitly told we're finding the x value or values, and we're told that f of x, which is equal to y, is equal to negative 1. So on the graph, we'll look for y is equal to negative 1, so that's going to be below the x-axis here. And we can see that the places where we intersect the graph are in the third quadrant over here, and also in the fourth quadrant at this point. And if we go back and try to find the x values where those points are, we can see in the third quadrant that point occurs when x is equal to negative 3. And when we look in the fourth quadrant for positive values of x, we can see that that graph has a y value of negative 1 when we come back to the axis and x is equal to a positive 3. So we can see that for the graph, we're looking for points that have xy coordinates, and what we're asked to do is, given an x value, to go to the graph and find the y value, or given a y value, to go back to the graph and find the x value or values in this case.